Welcome back to My Horror History, the podcast where each month we sit down with a guest and explore their journey through horror, from first frights to final scares. Before we dive in, a quick apology for this month's slightly late episode. I've been busily setting in our new puppy Ori, and as adorable as he is, he's not the most helpful in the editing process. So thank you for your patience while we got him comfortable in his new home. If you'd like to keep up with all things spooky, or maybe even see a few pictures of my little cutie Ori, then you can follow me on social media at myhorrorhistory.pod or get in touch directly by Gmail at myhorrorhistory.pod@gmail.com. And don't forget, My Horror History now has its very own Patreon page. It's completely free to join, and alongside the podcast, you'll find reviews, articles, and extra horror goodies. This month, I'm joined by the original Daughter of Darkness herself, my sister, Julie Neal. So let's get on with this month's creepy episode. Hi, everybody. On this week's podcast, we have got the person that has caused me more anxiety, more terror than anybody else. No, it's not John Carpenter or Sam Raimi or even Wes Craven. It's my big sister, Julie Neal. Hi, Julie.
Hi, thanks for that wonderful intro.
Well, it's all true and you know it.
I think my daughter feels the same about me now.
I'm not surprised. Right, okay, so let's get to it. So would you say your horror journey began? I really should know this, but because you're 4 years older than me, I think I missed out on the start of your horror journey. So I'm looking forward to hearing how it all began.
Well, it actually began with Dad, because I was the sort of child that wouldn't go to bed. And so in the end, Mum sort of gave up, and Dad said, well, don't worry, she can sit up with me. And he was watching one of the classics. And I still remember it now. It was Mask of the Red Death. And I absolutely loved it. I wasn't scared. And that was where it started. And then I used to sit up and watch them. I used to watch all the old ones with Dad. So that's where it all started from.
Oh, right. From you being difficult. So nothing's changed.
Yes. No, nothing's changed. No. Now my husband has to put up with it.
So it was Dad who introduced you to horror then. He was the beginning of it. Yeah, I can understand that. And was Mask of the Red Death the first one you definitely saw then?
That's the one that sort of sticks out. I remember it was very colourful, and I wasn't scared at all. And then I remember watching The Pit and the Pit and the Pendulum, and all the old Dracula films with Dad, and it just become our thing. We just used to watch it. So
yeah. You got the horror at night and I got the sci-fi the next day in the morning.
Yes. No, I've never been into sci-fi.
No. So is that your first horror memory, or is there something else that stuck with you? Was there anything else before that? Was there any stories or books, or was it straight into films, or any TV programs or anything that you remember from being tiny that scared you?
I remember I wasn't tiny. I think I must have been about 10 or 11. Dad bought me a box set of classic horrors for Christmas, and I absolutely loved it. It was beautiful. It had Frankenstein, Dracula, Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde, which was actually my favourite book at the time. I loved that. And I think it was The Werewolf as well. And it was in a beautiful box set, and I just loved it. So...
Right.
And I do remember another time. I had a friend when I was at primary school called Julie, and she was American, and she come to Hardwick School for a little while, and she had a birthday party, and I went to the party, and on the wall in the dining room was a massive poster of Alien, and I was transfixed. I was really scared because I always found it, the first Alien, how they made it very intimidating. I didn't like it. I remember standing there transfixed. I remember saying to me, that's Alien. And I said, I don't know how. I just said, I can't stop looking at it. And she said, oh, it's a horror film. And we got really close. She wasn't there long, But I do remember that sticking out in my mind as well.
Mm. I remember the first time I watched Alien, I think I was off school ill and you were looking after me. And I seem to remember Mum saying, get a video out. And this was before listeners that I was really into horror film. And my sister got Alien out and put me through that. Like I said, she is responsible for most of my torment.
Sorry, I can't remember that.
I'm pretty sure it was you. Um, so what would you say is your favorite horror movie watching experience? Was it in a gang with friends? I don't know if you've ever been to a horror movie festival or an all-nighter or anything like that, or it might be something that was really solo and it scared you because you were all on your own.
My first horror memory was it was the summer before I started big school, and I was hanging around with Cheryl Bonham and Nicola and some other people. And a couple of older lads used to hang around with us as well. And I remember everyone saying, let's go to the video shop and get The Exorcist. And at the time, you could do that.
Mm.
And I do remember going into the video shop. It was the one in Banbury. It was massive. It used to be the Co-op years ago. There was a upstairs and downstairs, and the horror section was upstairs. And I remember we all went up and asked for it. I remember the man behind the counter laughed and he said, do you lot really want to watch this? And we were like, yeah, we do. And he was like, right, okay, good luck. And I remember we watched it at Cheryl's. And considering that I absolutely love horror now and it's my biggest passion, I do remember the bit where Reagan's head turns round. I found absolutely petrifying and I burst into tears.
Mm.
But of course, everyone else thought it was funny. And because it was video, you've got to remember it wasn't DVD, because it was video at the time, they kept rewinding it back to that bit and making me sit through it again. And I remember being traumatized all afternoon and all night, and I don't think I slept.
No.
And I also didn't tell Mum and Dad that I'd watched it either.
No, I was going to say, I bet you didn't tell Mum and Dad that you watched it because Mum would have been royally pissed off if she'd known that you'd watched it at that age.
Yes.
Yes, especially with the religious stuff.
Mm.
Yeah. I don't think Mum would have been a fan of the blasphemy.
No.
I
do remember when it came to cinema, I do remember Dad going.
Yeah, I went with Dad. Yeah. He fell asleep and he snored all the way through it.
Oh, did he?
Yeah, I think he went to see it when it came out originally.
Yes.
At the cinema.
Yeah, he did, yeah.
Yeah, but when it was re-released, we went to see it together and he fell asleep and snored loudly.
Oh, right. Well, I took Dad to see Blair Witch Project and he fell asleep too and he was actually snoring. I do remember him saying that's the worst film I've ever watched. So
I love that film. Okay. So, which film would you say scared you the most and what was it that got you?
Like it was The Exorcist.
Mm.
But now I hold it very dear to my heart because it was probably the first horror film that I really watched. And I actually still love it now. And I've watched it with Lily and I've watched it with Owen and Lily loves it too. So, but I've also remember there was a TV series on called Frights.
Yes. I didn't get to see that. I think I was a little bit too young for Mum and Dad to let me watch it. And
I remember Mum saying to Dad, I really don't want Julie to watch it. And Dad was like, no, it'll be fine. And I was like, Mum was like, I'm not sure. And I think it's probably one of the most scariest things I've ever watched on telly because things that scare me are things that could actually really happen. And you've got to remember in the 80s, nuclear war was quite a big thing that was going around. That and AIDS was two of the biggest, scariest things growing up in the 80s. So I remember watching it, and for a TV program, I thought it was brilliant. And what I really loved was how they started off with everybody leaving their normal life. We meet the family, they go to work, they've got kids. And then suddenly there's this nuclear attack and you see this woman melting in the street. And it was just really scary because at the time you thought that could happen.
Yeah.
this could happen to us. And I do remember being shook up for days by it.
Mm.
So, but as for any other film, it takes a lot to scare me.
Mm. Yeah. Yeah.
I do like watching horror films on my own.
Mm.
I don't really like company when I watch them.
All
So
right.
I really, really do. And that's how I sort of rewind as well, is by watching horror.
Mm. Well, no,
But
it's good for you because it releases endorphins and stuff,
mm,
which then help you relax and make you happy after you've watched it. It's like you put yourself in a kind of flight or flight mode, and
yeah,
then when it's over, it's such a release of
yeah.
energy, and a relief that it's all over and you're safe, that it makes you feel better. It's scientifically proven. So yeah, I completely agree with you. I say it to lots of people. They say, "Oh, what are you doing to unwind and relax?" And I say, "I watch horror films, and the scarier the better." And they just
Yeah,
do
my
not
boss don't
get
get it.
it.
He always says, I don't get it. You're such a nice person. I'm like, I'm not really.
Well, I tell you what, doing this podcast, the people I've met are all into horror, all completely lovely people, the sweetest
Mm,
people who
mm.
love horror films. And that's because we know how to release that energy and we don't leave it
Yeah.
pent up inside us. So, what would you say was the film that had you yelling at the screen the most? Whether it was "Don't go in there" or "Run faster" or "Look at that behind you." Do you ever get that tense that you start yelling and at the screen and telling people what to do?
Yeah, there has been a few films lately, but I can't remember. I just There's a few films that I've watched with Lily, and we both looked at each other and like, oh my God. And we're like, Lily's like, there's going to be a jump scare. There's going to be a jump scare. But I can't really think. I mean, I'd say that I'm not so much jump scares, but there's been a few things that have happened in films. And I thought, oh my Lord, I
Mm,
wasn't expecting that. Like in
no.
Hereditary, when she's climbing on the ceiling.
Mm,
That I always find that was a bit odd. That's an odd film anyway. It's a
mm,
required taste, that is. But
yeah.
but no, as for jump scares, I'm not really um no, I couldn't. I'm really sorry, but I couldn't think of
No,
any.
no, I understand. I mean, I have to say, I think one of the ones I remember vividly about screaming at the telly was Prince of Darkness, the John Carpenter's Prince of Darkness. Don't know if you've seen that, where they're in the church and they find something in the depths of a church and they're scientists and it's like a goo, a green goo. And
Oh
one of them
yeah,
goes
yeah.
outside the church and he's running to get back in, but he's caught stumbling and trying to climb up the wall. And I remember me, Liam Wayne, just screaming at the telly, "Hurry up! Hurry up!" I do like that film. Um, so if you like a jump scare and you can see them coming, what do you think is the best jump scare in a film? Can you remember anything that's really made you leap out of your seat over the years?
There must be, but I just can't think at the moment. There must
Mm,
be, but I mean there was a few jump scares in Terrify, the first one.
mm,
Um which I me and which I actually really love. Actually, I think they're really good.
mm. Yeah, I haven't got
I
around to seeing them yet. People seem to be very kind of split down the middle on them. Some people absolutely adore them and other people don't. But he's done an amazing job because he's funded them all himself, with
is,
crowdfunding and stuff like that. So,
and I think for me, when you told me that, that's what
mm,
made me even more passionate about him.
mm,
He's a great character. He's thought
mm,
of a really good character. And in Lily's age group, the 21 and below, they absolutely adore Art.
mm,
They think he's incredible. They love the films. Um, and what I like is he doesn't even speak
mm.
in the films, but he doesn't have to speak.
No.
Um,
Well, Jason never
but
spoke. So
sorry,
Jason never spoke. No.
no, he didn't even know.
Mm,
But yeah, I would actually recommend them. I think they're
mm,
good. There's some funny bits in, but I've always liked dark humour.
mm. Yeah, yeah,
So
yeah, I get that. Yeah. So, What horror film was a complete surprise to you? And it could be in a good way or a bad way. You just
Well,
weren't
there's a
expecting it.
few.
Mm.
I love Gerard's Game.
Mm.
Um, the ending is absolutely brilliant. I love that. I wasn't expecting that. I'd recommend that. It's a great film. I keep banging on about Hellhole, but I watched that by a mistake.
Mm.
But it's absolutely brilliant. It's one of my favourites at the moment. I absolutely love it. It was a brilliant film.
Which hellhole is
Um,
it? Because there's a couple of ones out there. Which one? What's this one about?
oh,
Because I
is
have
there?
been
I didn't
looking
realize.
for it. Yeah, there's a couple with the same name. So,
Oh, it's on. It's actually on Netflix.
oh right.
It's the one where um a reporter goes undercover as a monk.
All right, yeah, yeah. I was listening to a podcast today, Discover the Horror, which is an excellent podcast, really, really good podcast. I recommend it to anybody. And they were saying that that was one of their favorite films of the year it came out. So
Oh
that's
God,
good.
Bev, it's
Yeah.
amazing.
Mm,
Especially the bit when Satan comes into the church and he screams and he stops all the monks and they
mm,
freeze and then he makes them go right up to the top of the church. It is such a good film, and it's not it's in it's filmed dark.
mm,
It's all dark, muted colours, and
mm,
he's fantastic who played in it. I don't know who it was, but my God, he was brilliant. And it is such a good movie. It is brilliant,
mm.
really
Yeah,
good.
I'll have to have a look for that. So you love your horror, but has there ever been a film that you've watched and you thought, I never want to watch that to again, and why?
Um, I did watch one called Mother,
Oh, right,
but I
yeah.
think there's a few of those as well.
Mm.
And it was one of these like arty type ones, and also that one called Men.
Yeah, yeah. I haven't
I
I
did,
haven't seen Men yet, but I've seen Mother.
and it no, I wouldn't watch it again. I watched it with Lily, and she was like, "What are you watching?"
Mm.
I did watch it to the end, but I wouldn't watch it again.
No, no. I mean, again, it's one of those films that people either seem to really love or they just didn't get on with. I didn't really get on with that one either. But like I say, I
No,
haven't seen Men yet. Men's been on my watch list for ages, and I just haven't got around to watching it. So.
it was a good idea, but I think it just dragged on.
Mm, yeah, yeah.
Um,
Sometimes they can outstay their welcome, and I would,
yeah.
and sometimes a long horror film can be brilliant, but I would say most horror films are best when they're kept under
Mm,
2 hours. And
yeah.
I mean, I don't know if you've seen Host, the one on when they do a video call during lockdown.
No, it's no, I haven't. Every film you recommend, I haven't seen.
Well, if that pops up anyway, you should watch it because it's a Zoom call. It's like only an hour long.
Right.
And it's really good and it just gets to it and it's really
Oh, okay.
creepy. So I Rob enjoyed that one as well, probably because it was short. So um so which horror film does everybody love, but you just don't get the appeal of it?
I can't. You're going to hate me for this, but you know what I'm going to say. I don't like zombie films. I just can't. I just don't know what the appeal is of dead people walking around trying to get people. I just don't get it. I don't find
Well,
it scary. I don't find it entertaining. I just don't like zombie films.
well, I think part of the appeal to me in you and you know how much I love zombie stuff and The
Yes,
Walking Dead and stuff like that.
I don't understand.
Um, I think part of it is the survival and figuring
Yeah.
out how to survive and stuff. I mean, The Walking Dead's very much like the people are worse than the zombies and scarier
Mm.
than the threat that they've got from the zombies. And the other thing is, in the beginning of the original Dawn of the Dead does this really well. Um, it's the joy of your loved one returning to you, and then the horror that they're no longer your loved one, that the person
Right.
you love just isn't there and having to deal with that, you know.
Yeah.
Because at the beginning of Dawn of the Dead, I mean, I haven't seen it for quite a while, but I'm pretty sure they like have this like news feed or something of like police going in or army going into um like a rundown apartment block where people have got like their loved ones sort of locked up in some of
Oh,
the
okay.
flats and stuff like that, and and they don't want to kill them because they're their loved ones,
Yeah, yeah.
and
Mm.
but they know they can't live with them, but they can't live without them. If that makes sense. So
If I
that's
had to watch one zombie film, it'd be the original, that black and white one.
Night of the Living Dead.
Yeah,
Yeah, Night of the
that's
Living
the
Dead
only
is
one that I
brilliant.
would watch.
Yeah, yeah. I wouldn't be put off when it comes to 28 weeks later and 28 years, because they're not zombies, they're infected.
Yes, my husband wants to watch them, so I'm going to have to give in some time. So
Yeah, yeah, and they are good. Right, okay. So, what horror film do you love but no one ever talks about? You may have kind of already slightly touched on that with Hellhole.
I love the Rob Zombie Halloween.
Somebody had to.
I the reason I like it is because it starts from when he was little,
Mm-hmm.
and I really love anything to do with children's psychology, and I really loved that it showed how he became what he was, and to me that was really important, and I really really love it, and I'd watch it over and over and over again. I really really like it.
As you know, I haven't watched it because there is no way of improving perfection. Um, but also for me, the scary thing about Michael is you don't know the reason why Michael does what he does. He just does it. And that's the scary thing, not knowing.
I get where you're coming from, but I just absolutely love anything to do with child psychology and what how a child is brought up, what makes a child just do what it does. And I just really, really like it. I can't help it. And I think the boy that played it did a really good job as well.
Mm. Well, I'm sure it did, and I'm sure it's very interesting. I just don't think it belongs in a Halloween film. Could be about any other murderer, just not Michael.
And I actually really loved the new Halloween as well, whereas a lot of people don't like that either.
Which one are you talking about? The first one of the three or the last one of the three?
The last one where a boy
Mm,
in the is an outcast and he starts to do what he starts to wear Michael's mask.
yeah. I think
And
they ran out of ideas.
well, me and Lily loved that one. I thought it was really good, that one too.
I'm glad you enjoyed it. I left
I
the
really
cinema very angry, but not as angry as I did with the second one in that trio. But the first one was brilliant. I loved
oh
the
the first
first one.
one, yeah.
Yeah.
I
First one of the
don't like
three was really good.
the one 8 more days to Halloween, Halloween, Halloween.
Now, I haven't seen that for years, and I always dismissed it because it didn't have Michael in. But I've so many people love it that I feel that I really should go back and watch it. And I've got it because I've got like the box set with them all anyway. Maybe one day I will go back and maybe I will change my mind.
Maybe, but I won't.
So I don't know whether you like funny horror films, but do you? And if so, what do you think is the funniest horror film? And was it intentionally trying to be funny, or was it just so shit it was funny?
Um, I actually tried to avoid them.
Mm,
I think it's wrong. I think an horror should be a horror. Um, I've watched a couple because of Lily. I've watched Tuck and Dale,
mm. I like Tuck and Dale.
and I really did enjoy that. I've also watched, I'm not very proud of saying this, but I've also watched the one that's based on Annabelle, I think. It's sort of a mixture of all the different horror. I
Mm-hmm.
can't even think what it's called now. I think it's got The Exorcist in it as well.
Mm,
All bits of horror, and I watched that with Lily too, and that was quite good as well.
mm. Yeah.
For me, it's normally a no-no.
Mm.
I think a
Wow.
horror should be a horror.
But what about Evil Dead?
That's quite scary.
The second one.
When
I
it
mean, the
first
second one
came
is
out,
still scary, but the second one is very funny.
I mean, when I first watched that, that was the same year I watched The Exorcist, and yeah, I wouldn't. I there, I'd probably find it funny now, but at the time, I found it more scary.
Oh, the first one I think is more scary than the second one, which is just a remake of the first one, but with more budget and funnier
Mm.
jokes.
But yeah, I do remember watching the first one and thinking it was a bit scary. Yeah.
Mm. What would you say is your favorite horror themed TV program?
There's a couple actually. I'm a House of Horror.
Mm.
I absolutely love that. I'm a House of Horror. Um, I love every story. I think one of the scariest things I've ever watched is the one with the hitchhiker.
Mm.
I still find that very disturbing now. Um, I also love Tales of the Unexpected.
Mm.
And one of the ones still scares me now is the one with the bee,
Oh, yeah.
where he fed his wife the honey.
Mm-hmm.
And that still sticks in my mind. And I was quite young when I watched that.
Mm.
Um, I like. Sorry, my cat wants to get involved.
It's okay.
um, I also like American horror.
Mm-hmm.
Um, some series are better than others. I think my
Mm.
favourite was Freak Show. But they're probably my three favourite.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. Who is your favorite all-time villain in horror films?
Probably be Leatherface.
Oh, right.
He's probably one of my favourites. I don't class Dracula as a villain.
You see, that's what I thought. I thought
No,
for sure you would say Dracula.
no,
No.
to me, he's always been my fantasy, so I wouldn't class him as a villain. I've always had a soft spot for Dracula.
You're not the only one. I'm hearing it crop up a little bit often on this podcast.
So no, I wouldn't actually class him as a villain anyway.
Mm.
I never have done. So probably Leatherface.
Mm. And my next
Yeah.
question is, who is your favorite fearless female? And I put this in because I genuinely believe that horror is the best space for actresses. They have the best roles, and like especially like the last decade or so, there have been some amazing roles that have been completely overlooked at the award season. They're starting to slightly take a bit more notice now, but I think if you're an actress and you want a good role that you can get your teeth into, you should go into horror. So, who would you say is your favorite fearless female?
Um, I've got a few. I'm actually a woman's woman. I love bigging
Mm,
up women. If I see a woman in the street and I think she looks amazing, I'll tell her.
mm,
But my favourite at the moment is, of course, Mia Goth.
mm,
Absolutely adore her, and she was incredible in Pearl.
mm,
I just love Mia Goth. She's like a little imp. I love her. And I used to have a soft spot for Juliette Lewis.
mm,
Um, I also like the lady that, I mean, I'm not very good on actresses' names. I
mm.
also like the lady that played in the remake of I Spit on Your Grave.
Haven't seen that, so I wouldn't be able to tell you off the top of my head who was in
You see,
that. So,
that is actually one of my most favourite films because she comes back fucking kick ass.
mm,
I really love that film. I know it's
mm.
really odd to say for a woman, but I love it.
No,
Absolutely love
I think that I'm hearing more and more on podcasts and stuff, women kind of taking ownership of that film now and saying,
it.
actually, I don't see it as exploiting women. I see it as a kind of an empowering female voice
I
sort
always
of
did.
thing. Yeah, I am hearing that a lot now. So this one tends to throw people a little bit, but who is your favorite side character that stole the show in a horror film for you?
There's another one of my favourite horror films called Chained,
Mm-hmm.
and it's the boy that plays in that.
Mm-hmm.
Um, I don't know whether you've seen it. It's about a serial
Yeah, I haven't
killer.
seen it, but again, I was listening to Discover the Horror, and they were talking about it the other day as well and saying how good it was. So,
It's a classic. It's amazing.
mm,
He steals it right from the start.
mm,
He's he steals his mum, kidnaps his mum,
mm,
locks chains this kid up all his life, wants him to be his protege, to follow in his footsteps. the twist at the end is just incredible. It's
Mm,
just a brilliant movie, and
yeah.
he was so good in it,
Mm,
really, really good.
yeah,
So
I'm gonna keep a lookout for that, I think.
that's one of the films I watch over and over.
Mm,
So
yeah. I've just noticed you've got a creepy doll's head behind you. You're not going to be able to see this, listeners, because I'm not having the video on. But my sister has just this random creepy doll's head on her sideboard in her living room. It says a lot. You surprised she tormented me for all my childhood? There was always things like that lying around. Anyway, back to the questions. I think I probably know the answer to this, but who is the sexiest character in horror movies?
well, you're going to be shocked by this because I thought about this one, and of course, I love Dracula.
Mm.
But as a teenage girl, my crush was Jonathan Scott Taylor, who played the teenager in Damien 2.
Oh, right. Yeah. Yeah.
Oh my God. When I saw him, I was like, God, he's absolutely gorgeous. I couldn't believe it. What a stunner.
I like all the Omen films. Well, the first three, you know. Oh, and I didn't mind the new one. That was
Yeah, I
quite
like
good.
the
Yeah, yeah.
I also like Spike out of Buffy.
Well, who doesn't?
Oh yeah.
Everybody loves a bit of Spike. That's probably because he reminds us of young Billy Idol kind of character.
Mm.
Yeah, yeah. What horror subgenre do you connect with the most? Now, are you a slasher, folk horror, cosmic horror? What would you say is your favorite?
It's got to be psychological
Mm,
all the way. It's got to be. I just love it. I also love folk horror.
mm,
Get me wrong, I also love that. And I'd love to have acted in The Wicker Man, the
mm,
original. Oh, God, I would have loved that. Being one of the dancers. And I love all that. Anything like
mm,
that, I love. Absolutely love. There's something on Blaze that I watch, and it's like stories of what happened, what goes on in England years ago.
mm.
And I love all that stuff. I love anything like that, but it's psychological and it's folk for me.
Yeah, yeah. Well, there's a lot of that stuff that goes on in England. I know that the town that I work in, um, I think it's like November they have a carnival, and at the end of the carnival they always burn something.
Nice.
I always say it's just like the Wicker Man here, isn't it?
Don't
Okay,
you
then.
keep seeing the posts I put on Facebook about I want to live in the cottage in the middle of nowhere, and I want the town people to start calling me the village witch.
Well, there isn't much I can say to that, really, is there? I think you're halfway there anyway.
I have felt like I do believe that I actually do believe that I am reincarnated from a witch from years ago.
All right, that's a new one. I haven't heard that one before.
No, I've always felt that I've got a bit of witch in me.
Well, we might have witch ancestry. You know, there were
That'd be
plenty
nice.
of them back in the day. They used to say
Sorry.
Nan was a witch, didn't they?
Oh yeah,
Hmm.
yeah. I wouldn't.
Yeah.
Half of that family's witches, I think.
Hopefully they won't listen to this.
I didn't mean that in a bad way.
Okay. What do you think is the most beautifully shot horror film?
That was a hard one for me.
Mm,
I don't know. I do remember there was some lovely scenes in Her Lovely Bones,
mm,
the dream scene under the
mm.
tree. That was nice. That was lovely. And I do remember years ago watching Company of the Wolves,
Oh, yeah.
and when they had the room, like when they had that beautiful dinner party,
Mm,
they're all dressed up, and then they all turn into wolves.
mm,
I do remember that sticking in my mind as being beautiful scenario.
mm.
A big
Yeah, that,
beautiful party with all these lovely rich people all dressed up, and then you suddenly turn into wolves.
yeah, yeah.
I thought, how wonderful! What a life that would be.
And you're not the first person to speak about that film on this podcast as well. Yeah. So it does come up. This is a strange one, but if you could live inside any horror film forever, which would it be? And is there a specific role you would play, or would you just hang around with the characters?
um, I'd like I'd like to live in probably Salem's Lot,
Oh, right.
because my I'd love to live in a small American town.
Mm,
I love America. I'd love to live in a small American town, and I'd actually like to do run the B&B that he stayed in, because that's where he stayed and he wrote his book.
mm.
Stayed in a B&B in Salem. So yeah, that's probably where I'd like to be. So of
You wouldn't worry about ending up becoming a vampire.
course not.
No, I didn't think you would somehow.
No, why would you want me?
I actually watched Salem's Lot for the first time about a month ago.
Oh, you like it?
I was not overly impressed, but that's because I listened to the book first. I listened to the book and then I watched it and I thought, wow, I didn't think what's his face at Starsky and Hutch was right for the lead role. And
Yeah,
I
I
think it
thought you were good.
no, I didn't. I think it was too old for a start off. And I don't know. I did just they left stuff in which from the book which I thought they could have taken out, and they missed stuff out which I think should have been in. But then I think you always get that when you read a book and then watch a film. I think it would have been the other way round. It might have been different. I might have enjoyed it more, but just frustrated me a little bit. And I don't have the connection which everybody else has to it because I didn't watch it back at the time. And I was talking to Sinead last week, who is a wonderful lady, and we were discussing how you can watch something that everybody's raved about, but they've got more of a connection to it because they watched it way back when, and you're just coming to it now, and times are different, and things have changed, and people have changed, and you don't, or you didn't watch it in the same circumstances as they watched it in, around with all your friends and stuff like that. And so you have a very different experience. And I think that's what I had with Salem's Lot. So,
That's probably why it sticks out in my mind, because it was one of the things that was on BBC One
mm,
on 9 o'clock in the middle of the week. And you've got to remember, we didn't get much horror.
mm,
You get like the classics on a Friday and
yeah.
Saturday after 11 o'clock. You'd get the classics. So this was something new.
Mm,
And I do remember going to school and everybody talking about it.
mm.
So it's probably one of them things that I've got to admit, I haven't watched it since I watched it when I was a teenager. So I might feel different now as well.
Yeah, well, it's not easy to get hold of actually, to tell you the truth. So, um, no, so yeah. But we have that connection. I probably have the same feeling about watching Ghost Watch. We were all talking about Ghost Watch the next day,
Yeah.
although everybody
Then
raves about it.
they still talk about it now, don't they? Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, but it was an experience because it was just like, what the hell did we just watch? That
Yeah. Yeah.
it did not make a lot of sense at the time to our little
Oh,
tiny brains that people on the telly would lie to us.
how
Okay,
they do.
yeah. What was the last horror film you watched and did it work for you?
The last horror film I watched, well, I watched a few actually. I've watched Substance, which I really liked. Thought it was very clever, and the ending was my favourite. Though people I've spoke to have said I don't like the ending. It was
Mm,
rubbish. But for me, it was the best part. I
mm,
loved the ending. I did watch Longlegs again the other night. I thought I'd give it a second chance on my own because I watched it with Lily and she was talking all the time. And it didn't really, no,
yeah,
no.
yeah. I could see it
Um,
coming a mile away.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
So I think Substance is probably the best one I've watched recently.
Mm,
I really enjoyed it and it was very clever.
yeah. I mean, it lost it a bit at the end for me as well, so I do get that. And
Yeah,
I get what they were saying, but I've listened to a lot of top 10 lists of 2024 and it pretty much topped most of them. So I think most people agree with you. Who's the horror director that you always keep an eye out for and you'll always try and watch their films?
I'm a bit embarrassed to say I'm not very up on directors.
Mm,
I'm not really, I can't really answer because I'm not very sort of up on.
Well, no, you don't have to be embarrassed about it. Not everybody knows directors of films. They just enjoy them. I thought you might say David Lynch, because I
Oh
know
God,
you
yeah,
like David Lynch.
yeah, cool. David
Yeah.
Lynch is cool. I don't know why I didn't. I love everything he's done. I love Eraserhead. I love Twin Peaks. There's not one of his that I don't love.
Mm,
And I watched this documentary about him, and it was incredible.
yeah, Rob watched that as well.
It was brilliant. I love David Lynch. I also probably would say um, the director that did Deep Red.
Oh, Dario Argento. Yeah, he's still knocking about. He was at Fright Fest the other year. Yeah, yeah, I was
Wow.
gutted I could not get there. Just didn't have the money.
Imagine sitting down and having dinner with him.
Mm,
Wow.
mm,
Incredible would that be?
that
I mean,
would be pretty
Deep
good.
Red, you introduced me to that.
Yeah, Deep Red's
What
my favourite.
what a brilliant film. What
Yeah,
a brilliant film. Do you remember that night we showed Paul it?
vaguely. I don't think he liked it very much.
It's messed with my head.
Horror films out for everybody, and Dario Argento is not even for all horror fans. So
No, no.
I can understand that. Um, if you could give one underrated horror film a reboot or a sequel, what would it be?
I got stuck on this one too. I
But it could
don't
be
know.
anything. It could be like some shitty B movie you watched back in the 80s, because Toxic Avenger is going to be re-released anytime soon, a remake with like big actors in.
Oh,
Yeah.
uh, I've got to be honest. I've never seen that.
I love that. It's so stupid.
What I do love Reanimator.
Oh yeah, but they don't need to remake that.
No, no, no. I'm just saying that that's
Yeah.
just that film. Oh,
Mm,
great! It is
I
really
love
good.
all. I think I've seen all of them. I might not have seen the last one because I know they've got a few sequels now. So
Mm.
yeah, that was it's such a good film. Um, is there I think I know the answer to this question because you've seen so much stuff, but is there a horror classic that you've never seen that you feel guilty that you keep skipping?
Well, like I mentioned earlier, I've just started to watch the Terrified movies,
Mm,
and I've been putting them off. But I'm glad that I watched them now because
mm,
really good.
yeah.
Um, there is that series that you kept mentioning to me, and I still haven't watched it about the priest.
Oh yeah, yeah. Oh God, what's that called now? Oh, God, it's gone out of my brain. Oh, Midnight Mass.
That's it. I am. I
Yeah,
don't know why I haven't
yeah.
watched
Mike
that yet.
Flanagan. You would really like that. That's got a kind of a Salem-y vibe about it,
Ah, right.
and you'll probably
Um,
think the creepy priest is quite sexy.
I like priests anyway.
Yeah,
That's one of my fantasies. It's a anyway. Yeah.
yeah. We won't go into that.
not, we're not on OnlyFans, are we?
No. Right, okay then. Let's get to the final act. What are your top five favourite horror films of all time? And this is not easy for anybody to do.
I wrote down, I crossed out, I wrote down, and I crossed out. I don't. Well, it's definitely Exorcist
Mm,
because that holds very fond memories with me. So
mm,
definitely Frailty.
mm-hmm,
What a clever movie that was.
mm,
Chained.
mm-hmm.
Alice, Sweet Alice,
Haven't seen that yet. You see, this is one of the ones that's missing. I've got some big gaps in my horror catalogue, and that's one of them.
and The Omen.
All right, yeah, yeah. Good choices.
Alice, Sweet Alice. Wow. What for the
Mm,
time it was made? What a scary, tense film.
mm,
Really good. And of course, it's child psychology again, so that's my thing, isn't it?
yeah, yeah. Right. Well, that was wonderful. Thank you for coming on, Julie. And I will probably speak to you again very soon. But please come back on again. Maybe we'll do a deep dive into one of your favourite horror films, or we can review something new. Thank you very much.
Thank you. I very enjoyed it. All right. Thanks. Bye.
Bye. And that brings us to the end of this month's episode of My Horror History. A huge thank you to my sister Judy Neal for joining me and sharing her stories. It's always a treat to dig into spooky stuff with family. As always, I'd like to leave you with a podcast recommendation, and this month it's Horror Hangout. The guys over there always have such interesting takes on both old favourites and new releases, and their yearly roundups are honestly some of my favourite listens. Next month, I'll be chatting to Sam Munster from the Horror Hyperfixation podcast, so you won't want to miss out on that. And if Ori allows me to have a bit more editing time and a little less puppy play time, I might even sneak in a slightly late roundup of 2025 as a bonus episode. Don't forget you can follow me on social media at myhorrorhistory.pod, drop me an email at myhorrorhistory.pod@gmail.com, and join the brand new My Horror History Patreon page. It's completely free and will feature extra reviews, articles, and more creepy content alongside the podcast. Thank you for listening, and until next time, stay spooky.